We've got 7 Am I the Devil Reddit stories for today's video. Starting it off with how do I repair my relationship with my boyfriend and his family after what I suggested to his sister. This devil story does in fact have an update. But stick around for 6 more evil Reddit stories, such as a post in r/Orthodox Christianity titled Attendance of Trans Wedding, as well as the story we're gonna end off on, my ex is causing me to self-sabotage my current relationship. What can I do to stop self-sabotaging? Oh boy. Y'all know the drill. Let's lock in here. How do I repair my relationship with my boyfriend and his family after what I suggested to his sister? So I've been in a relationship with my boyfriend, who we'll call G, for about 2 years. He has 3 younger siblings, M, 23 male, A, 21 male, and T, 19 female. I should also include that OP is a 25 female, the boyfriend is a 25 male, and his sister is the 19 female, which is T. I already know OP's the devil because OP refuses to just give fake names. They're like, oh, let's have you track individual letters for each person we're talking about. All of them are still in college and still live at home with their mom, 55 female, and dad, 55 male, while my boyfriend and I rent an apartment. This summer, they will be celebrating their 30th wedding anniversary in France, where they had their wedding. They plan on getting first-class tickets, a high-end hotel, etc. One night, my boyfriend and I were supposed to have dinner with his family. While we were in their house, the youngest sister mentioned how excited she was for this summer and all the things they plan to do in France. As this is an anniversary trip for her parents, I suggested to the younger sister she could do her parents a solid and maybe stay back home and out of their hair to give her parents time away from their kids this summer. Or she could maybe pay her own way so her parents could save money. The younger sister asked me why she'd give up a trip to France, and I told her it would be a nice gesture for her parents' anniversary. Chad, am I missing something here? Listen, is it out of her place? Yes. I also don't necessarily disagree with that. Like, maybe you should let your parents enjoy an anniversary by themselves. Unless they've explicitly said that they want the kid there. But like, on a wedding anniversary? Let's be honest. Y'all supposed to be doing some like clippity-clappity of the cheekies, you know? Why is the daughter coming? Me personally would ruin the vibe. But I don't know. I think chat disagrees with me. I kept trying to tell her how nice it would be and how her parents would probably thank her for giving them space. At some point, the oldest brother interrupted us and told me to stop meddling in family affairs, that I was overstepping, and to either apologize for pressuring the youngest sister or to leave the house. I told him I didn't mean to make anyone upset, but when their dad came into the room and asked them what was wrong, they told him everything. He then asked me to leave his house and said I probably shouldn't come back anytime soon because I was overstepping, and he found it rude that I was making up a problem and pressuring the younger sister to solve it. Me and my boyfriend went back to our apartment and we haven't been speaking. Where do I go from here? Okay, well, clearly from this paragraph, the dad does want them there. Here's the thing, chat. I'll still die on this hill. That for an anniversary, unless the whole point of it is we want to celebrate with all of our kids, I don't know. Me personally, when I celebrate my anniversary with my wife, I kind of want it to just be us. We're supposed to be doing some romantic things, and sometimes romantic things can't happen if your kids are there. But since the dad clearly wants the kids to be there, OP is absolutely in the wrong here. And I don't think they're wrong about her overstepping. How long have they been together? 2 years? I mean, she definitely should have a little bit of pull at this point because it's like, okay, 2 years is kind of serious. Like some people propose after 2 years. For all intents and purposes, she is somewhat integrated in the family, but I still think it's like not necessarily your place. Like maybe you bring that up with your boyfriend and encourage your boyfriend to talk to his sister about it. But yeah, I think you mentioning it and you really pushing for it is not the right move. Not super wild about the devil label. Like, yeah, could you have done stuff better? Sure. But it's not like you're like setting babies on fire or something. I don't know. Sarby, I don't think you were considering that all of the kids got invited and OP is telling the youngest not to come for no reason. Are all of them invited? I don't think they're all going. This summer, they will be celebrating their 30th wedding anniversary in France, where they had their wedding. The theys, at least in my head, were just referring to the parents. And then while we were at their house, T mentioned how excited she was for this summer and all the things they plan to do in France. I don't think it's everybody. I think it's just the parents and this little sister. Okay, thank you, Couch Skittle. You're right. Some more info. The others are invited, but they're older, so I assume they can just do their own thing. Okay. All right. Okay, you guys are definitely right. If everybody's going, it's a little weird to try to exclude just the youngest one. Let's read this info, make sure that there's more things before we get into the update. Info, I'm not obsessed with their financial situation. I just think it's important that the little sister starts making money on her own so she can value it more. She's used to getting her hair, nails, and sometimes makeup done and paid for. Not to mention how much product she buys for her hair and sanitary products. It'll hit her hard how much this stuff costs when she's older, so why not start learning that now? Okay, this is the first part that I see OP really crossing boundaries. Like, you're not her fucking mom. This isn't your child. For all intents and purposes, you should just not give a fuck. Why are you trying to raise this child? If you want to raise a child, go and have one yourself. Do whatever the fuck you want with that kid, but don't try to push on adult responsibility on a 19-year-old who, yeah, sure, would it maybe be beneficial to like come to these conclusions and figure these types of things out? Sure, I don't think it would be a bad thing for her necessarily, but that's not required. If she was like 30, yeah, I think that's a fucking problem. She's 19, bro. Let her fucking be a spoiled 19-year-old for now. Let reality hit her later on. That's not your responsibility. All right, chat, there is an update to this. Last night, me and my boyfriend had a long and serious talk about my comments at the dinner, along with some of my past comments. He told me, while in my family, refusing a free trip when you are invited may be seen as noble, in his family, refusing a free trip is seen as stupid. In my family, if someone offers to pay for you, you should always decline no matter what. My parents made me work all throughout high school and always told me I'd have to get a scholarship to help pay for my college because they weren't going to do it. It is also a courtesy in my family to not expect help with finances, no matter how tough it may get, to only eat one serving at dinner gatherings, to always pay your own way, and we often voice our opinions no matter what they are. Yeah, I mean, I know I just said parent your kid how you want to parent your kid, but that is the wrong way to parent your kids. Hot take, chat. If you're going to have kids in this day and age and expect them to pay for their own college, you're batshit crazy. I'm sorry, bro. You are gonna, against their will, against their consent, bring them into this shit show of a world, and you're not gonna at least attempt to help pay for their college? Now there, chat, there is the devil. And I always think too, don't get me wrong, I don't think it should be a requirement. I'm super blessed because I mean, like, my parents, my siblings are all super well off, and we've all had talks about like, if someone struggles, like we're taking them in. That's just how our family is. I think that's what it means to truly have a loving and caring family, is that you guys can fall back on each other in hard times. Maybe that's controversial. In my opinion, ass way to raise your kids. He then went into discussing the trip to France. His mother had extended family who lived there, so this will not be the first or last time they all go. It will be the first time they explore the area. So even if the youngest sister wasn't old enough to go off on her own or didn't know her way around or the language, she'd be just fine. And if his mom and dad wanted alone time, she'd be just fine on her own, even if they didn't have family there. When me and my boyfriend first started dating and we were talking about our family history, he told me about how his maternal great-great-grandparents moved to America from France. I was under the impression that everyone from his mother's extended family moved, not just the great-great-parents and their children. Apparently, my mother thought my behavior was because I didn't feel welcome by them, and the dinner was to invite me on the trip as a sort of peace offering. However, after his father caught me trying to sway the younger sister, he had enough and decided he couldn't take it anymore, no matter what his wife says. He will not tolerate me being around the rest of the family or in their home any longer. This came as a shock to the family, as his dad doesn't speak much and is usually calm and composed. If you pissed off the calm and composed father, you fucked up. You done messed up, Ron. My boyfriend also showed me his photos from his parents' wedding. It looked like one of the most fairy tale-like weddings I'd ever seen. It was held at the Chateau Chalane. I know I'm fucking butchering that. And he explained how they plan on renting the space again and flying all of their extended family out to celebrate with them because they want to celebrate with everybody and will take time for themselves later on in the summer. I also teared up listening to how his parents met. After graduating high school, his mother spent the summer in France with her family while his dad was visiting along with his older brother. His dad had struggled with cancer nearly his entire life up to that point, and it was supposed to be his dad's last trip before he let himself go because he was tired of it all. One morning, while eating alone at a cafe, he recognized her as the most beautiful girl he's ever seen, who spent her time helping out her family with their restaurant, running it like it was the Navy, someone who wasn't afraid to call customers out when they were being unreasonable or just downright rude, and someone who knew exactly what she wanted and how to get it. The complete opposite of him. They spent the day together, which inspired his father to continue his cancer treatment, accomplish his goals, and start taking life more seriously so he could be by her side for as long as she'd have him. His parents always told him and his siblings the only thing in life they value more than each other are their children. and they want to make sure if life ever gets hard for them, they have something to fall back on. God damn it, that's so fucking cute. It really doesn't get more fairy tale than that, chat. He told me he'd be moving back in with his parents until he can find a new apartment. He also revoked my invitation to their family Christmas trip to Aspen, which they were supposed to be leaving for tonight. I feel like I'm in a Dar Man video right now. What the fuck? On another note, my friend saw my initial post and gave me an intervention. I will be attending therapy for the foreseeable future. May update when I unpack what's wrong with me. All right. I mean, I could probably already tell you now, your family fucked you up here, but good for you. I'm not a therapist. Don't let me stop your journey for self-improvement. I'm just a dumb YouTuber, all right? All right, let me read the info, chat, because y'all fucked me when I didn't last time. 3 more info entries here. Number 1, people seem to be confused when I say his father recognized his mother in France. I mean that literally, as they are from the same hometown. Oh, that's even more fucking fairy tale, chat. Number 2, some people think I'm saying love cured his father's cancer. I was told that it was what made him continue treatment. That's all I was told. Number 3, I've also gotten comments about the years of the Chateau Chalane becoming a wedding venue and the wedding not making any sense. Unless I'm misremembering something, I remember him saying they were married there. Maybe I'm mixing up the locations when he was talking about the wedding venue and the wedding anniversary venue. I feel like we're missing something here, chat, because for the dad to go nuclear and be like, I never want her in my house ever again, she must have been doing some fuckery before this happened. This is like not appropriate the way that she's doing it. Is it she's not allowed in my house and breakup worthy? I don't even really know. OP did mention that they've done this before earlier. They mentioned that like there have been other incidents, but they didn't go into the incidents. Like I would love to hear other incidents here, chat, because I feel like the way that OP started it was like it was a one-off thing, as if this was just a out of character little oopsie that she had, when I think this is more ingrained into like how OP really do be. So this was put in to r/NowI'mTheDevil saying, get a fucking lawyer. My kids does not have a relationship with my new wife. How do I navigate this issue so I don't lose my relationship with my wife and don't ruin my relationship with my daughters? I, 38 male, have been with my partner, now wife, 38 female, for 2 years. I have 2 daughters, 10 and 11, from a previous relationship, and we have been broken up for 7 years. The kids have never met any of my partners since the breakup. My current wife also has a son, 15, from a previous relationship. When I first met her and we talked about the kids, and I told her that no one has met my daughters, not even my previous partner of 5 years, she expressed to me that she would not be okay being with someone who had kids who don't want her to build a relationship with them. She said that my kids are important to me and a big part of my life, so it would be important for her to have that relationship. 6 months into the relationship, she brings it up again and tells me that if this is not something I want, we should end things now. So I set up a casual meeting at an amusement park, introduced them, but didn't say she was my girlfriend. We kind of hung out all together here and there, but sometimes she and her son's friends went and did their own things. My daughter seemed to really like her and were talking to her. My youngest was holding her hand and talking to her a lot. Okay, so far, this is in the past, but the daughters don't know that OP is dating this woman and they seem to like her. They go home. Kid's mom finds out that they met my girlfriend and freaked out and was upset because I didn't let her know. She called me with the kids in the background crying as she was saying I can't see them anymore and that I can fuck whoever I want, but don't bring the kids around. I apologized to her and asked her to please put the kids to bed and then we can talk. She continued to yell in front of them as they were crying. After that, I didn't let them see my girlfriend anymore because my ex-wife expressed to me that my daughters weren't comfortable with it and they didn't want anything to do with my girlfriend. Fast forward to a year later, I have now moved in with my girlfriend and we were trying for a baby and then getting married. Once she was pregnant and we were married, I tried to talk to my kid's mom again and tell her that now that we have been living together, I would like for the kids to be able to come over and spend time with me and my partner instead of me having to take them to the park or my brother's house every time I have them. She again refused and said that's not what the kids want. We again leave it at that, and then when the baby is born, I message her that I'd like for us to talk to the kids. She ignored my message. I text her again the week after, and again when he was 3 months. So you're just like letting her walk all over you? I don't get it, chat. Like they must have some sort of custody arrangement. Why is he not legally pushing this shit? Since I didn't hear from her, I decided to talk to the kids and tell them about their brother and my wife. They seemed very happy and receptive and even wanted to meet them immediately. Their only concern was for me not to disappear on them, and I reassured them that wouldn't be the case. We would all be a family and we can all go on trips together now, and they seemed very happy. The next day, their mom calls my sister to tell me the kids have been crying and they don't want to meet the baby or my wife, and they're jealous of the baby. When I picked them up, I talked to them again and asked them how they were feeling since they said all of that to their mom and my sister, and they said they were fine now and they want to meet the baby and my wife. And even said they wanted to bake something to give to her when they meet her. A week later, the mom calls me and tells me that what I'm doing is wrong and that they shouldn't have to meet my wife. If I want them to have a relationship with the baby, I can bring the baby to my parents' house and they can meet the baby there. And eventually, 3 to 4 years down the road, when they are comfortable, they can meet my wife. She said they don't want anything to do with her and I shouldn't push them to meet her. But also, the baby is young now, so they can even wait a bit to meet the baby. She says they told her they are jealous of the baby and jealous that my mom is helping watch the baby, and the youngest thought she would be the last one and that they wish they had a family with their mom and dad like their friend. How do I navigate this issue so I don't lose my relationship with my wife and don't ruin my relationship with my daughters? Oh my fucking God, chat. What did I just read, bro? Like, here's the thing. Once again, I don't think this is Am I the Devil worthy, but this father is so unbelievably incompetent. Like, honestly, chat, I can't tell if he's just gullible as fuck or if he's actually incompetent or maybe both. Like, why are you believing this woman who clearly wants to sabotage you? You've done the testing to see if your daughter actually likes the girlfriend and wants to be around the girlfriend. Clearly, they want to be around the girlfriend. They're just being manipulated by the mom. It hurts. It hurts, chat. Like, on one side, I'm like, oh my God, OP, you're getting played. Like, take some legal action here. You've got to have some sort of equal custody of these kids. Like, I'm not saying do anything like fucked up by any means, but like when you have the kids, bro, you're allowed to do whatever you want when the kids are in your custody. Have them meet the wife. Make sure they're not getting fucking brainwashed by this evil ex-wife. Has he said anything in the comments? We'll read it for the plot. There is a comment on the like original post. You lied to them when they first met. I don't get how you thought it was a good idea. So you already set things in motion to fail. You then just started a whole new life without them being a part of any of it. That's totally going to fuck up a kid. Is it like a bad thing to like soft launch your new partner to your kids like that? Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like this is pretty normal. Like when parents bring a new partner in their life, they kind of got to do it slowly and lightly and maybe not tell them right in the start. Okay, so they're 10 and 11 now, and this was like about a year and a half ago. So they're like, what, 9 and 10? I don't think a small little white lie like that is really going to make that much of a fucking difference. I'll fuck with that, chat. No, not at all. Maybe we're all devils. What the fuck? Yeah, let me finish reading that comment. It's good to know that you guys are on my side here. And it seems like your new wife got over not being in your older kids' lives pretty easy. It honestly feels like you both just wanted to move on and forget you already had kids who needed you, because it doesn't sound like you fought for your kids at all. That's probably why they are afraid you will abandon them again. It could be why you seem so happy about everything with you when it might be all a lie. Or your ex-wife is lying. Whatever the truth is, you abandoned them. Now you want to fix it. Damage done, buddy. I think what this commenter is saying here is merited. However, I don't think he abandoned his kids because he wanted to abandon them. To me, this sounds like OP is gullible as shit and this wife is a manipulator. That is what I feel like is being put down and what I am picking up here. I think he's still in the wrong for that. Like, hey man, don't be as gullible. Stand up for your kids. Tell your ex-wife to go fuck herself. There are things you can do here. Hold on, what did you respond? Yeah, I know I screwed up by lying when I first met. I've apologized to my ex numerous times for that, and I know I should have handled it differently. I still don't think he should be sorry for that. From then on, I've tried to talk to my ex about introducing them to my then GF. I texted ex multiple times that we needed to talk about them officially meeting girlfriend. She didn't respond. I called her. She didn't pick up. I waited for her to get home after dropping the kids off and tried to talk to her outside, but she just walked away saying she didn't want to talk. A few months later, I messaged her saying that I will introduce the kids with or without her blessing since she refuses to talk to me, and I needed them to be with me at my home, and I can't expect to ask my wife to leave her own house so the kids can come over. She called me and we talked, and she said the kids do not want anything to do with my wife and asked me to leave it alone if I really do care about their feelings. She said they don't want to meet her and I shouldn't force them, and they were only acting happy and okay when they met her. That first time was because they wanted to please me. But she said they told her that they would call her by her name to make sure people knew she wasn't their mom, and me and her weren't together. Yeah, dude, I think the ex-wife is a manipulative bitch. I would put money on it, chat. There's a lot of he said, she said here. And also, these kids are not that maniacal, bro. They're 10 or 11. Having that sophisticated levels of lying skills? No. They only met twice, and the 2 times they met, the girl seemed to adore her. They even held her hands and were gushing over her. But my ex said they were just pretending to please me, and they actually don't want anything to do with her. She's their mom. Of course, they would confide in her and be more open and honest with her. That's why I didn't push too hard. But when my wife became pregnant, tried to talk to my ex again, but she, of course, ignored me. So after the baby was born, okay, we already got this info. Is OP an a-hole? Yes. I think this is more of an everyone sucks here. Even this new girlfriend, I think, sucks a little bit. I think it is fishy that she was like, oh, I need to have a relationship with your kids. And then after that relationship wasn't coming into fruition, was like, let's have a baby and get married. A little sus. Honestly, I think the only reason OP's the a-hole is because he's so gullible and he just needs to nut the fuck up. I wouldn't call that the devil though. I would just call that a character flaw that like maybe he just never was taught how to nut up. Ben, look at stream gang. Uh-oh. Oh no, step bro. What am I getting myself into? Oh, bro, you even included the cleavage? That's so crazy, Alucard. I'm gonna use this moment to plug for my YouTube subscribers who see the video. This is because I told my Twitch followers if they got me to 50 subs, I would wear a maid outfit. We are currently sitting at 53 subscribers. So as long as all goes according to plan, we are going to be doing a video in a maid costume at the beginning of 2025. Dead ass. This is pretty much copy and paste what the maid outfit's gonna look like. Shout out Alucard for the most wonderful drawing. r/Orthodox Christianity. Attendance of trans wedding. This one is so gonna hurt, chat. I just know it. The title that the person put in when they threw it in Am I the Devil is Protect the Kids from Being a Flower Girl. Edit for clarity of position. I believe the marriage is a valid marriage as it is one man and woman joining. My concern is the matter in which they are joining, i.e., a man saying he's a woman and a woman saying she's nothing, is injecting a sinful component directly into the foundation of the God-given union. I forgot how angry I get when I read or hear religious people just talking. Injecting a sinful component directly into the foundation of the God-given union. Like, shut the fuck up. I do not see how a marriage can be seen as solely a civil affair when marriage was instituted and given to us by God to reflect his relationship with us. It seems a fundamentally spiritual endeavor, irregardless of it if that aspect is acknowledged. Okay, let's assume that your God is, for some reason, the one that exists and real. You got it right. We all got it wrong. Why the fuck do you care? I've come for some various perspectives on a situation I'm facing. My sister is engaged to a man, but both of them identify as trans. They both are going to present either as the opposite sex or more gender neutral for the ceremony, i.e. the man will be wearing a wedding dress. My sister has asked my family to attend and for my daughter to be a flower girl. My immediate instinct is that it would not be appropriate to go, even more inappropriate to have my daughter to be a part of the ceremony. God forbid you support a family member who's supposed to be loved dearly by you no matter what. God forbid you support them on their biggest day ever just because your stupid sky daddy doesn't want you to. This shit hurts, bro. My reasoning for this is as follows. Marriage is a sacrament, and even if the ceremony is non-religious and does not mention God at all, it's still an engagement in that sacrament. To have a man identify and present as a woman in that sacrament is an act of rebellion, sinful, and therefore a defilement of that sacrament. Weddings are celebrations, and I cannot in good conscience attend a celebration of a sacrament being performed in a way that is an affront to God. Does this understanding of marriage and the situation seem to be in line with Orthodox teaching? Am I missing anything that would possibly alter how I go about this? Oh yeah, you're missing having brain cells. You're welcome. Glad I could help. Like, comment, and subscribe. Something that would say, go to the wedding to be a witness rather than abstain. For deeper context, but not required reading, we have an okay relationship, and in general, I've done my best to maintain what relationship we have and be kind despite our difference of beliefs. I'm not planning on ending our relationship, just abstaining from the ceremony. I'll bet your ass that'll end your relationship if you don't go. Imagine being so confident that some fucking book some guys wrote to fuck with people is the absolute truth, and you're willing to use said book to ruin your relationship with a family member just because they have different perspectives about their gender and the guy wants to wear a dress at his own wedding. God damn it, bro. I hate this. This shit makes my blood boil. Shut the actual fuck up, bro. Just go to the wedding and get drunk like everybody else. Just celebrate people that you love. Doesn't your fucking book say that that guy forgives everybody or some shit like that? Like, if he exists, he'll forgive them for getting married and they'll forgive you for going. That's literally what your fucking book is all about. Like, the fact that the Bible says next to nothing about trans people anyway, people just make up shit as a justification to be hateful. Agreed, oregano. Dead ass, I feel like Christians just use the Bible to hate on people. Oh, I want a reason to hate someone? Well, Luke 17:35 up my asshole says that, blah, 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 blah. And therefore, the way that you can translate that, if you look at it sideways, upside down, translate it into Greek, Asian people are evil. Am I the a-hole for emailing my boyfriend's teacher? Hi, my 16 female boyfriend's 17 male has been extremely stressed out at school and stressing about applying to colleges. He had mentioned he had an essay due soon and how he didn't know how he was going to find the time to write it. For context, I absolutely love writing and have never gotten lower than a grade of around 90% on an essay. So I offered to write it for him. I assured him I didn't want anything in return for doing it, as I genuinely enjoy writing papers. I know some people may think of that as cheating, and I honestly agree, but that's beside the point. Anyways, I finished the essay and made sure to meet every single one of the requirements that his teacher had posted for the essay. I spent a lot of time on it and was pretty confident it would get a decent grade. Spoiler alert, it didn't. Flash forward to today. He had sent me a screenshot of his incoming grades, and I saw the paper I had wrote got a 75. At my school, this is equal to a C, which is not bad by any means, but I was a little shocked by it. He said he was totally fine with that grade and thanked me again for writing it, but I was not satisfied at all. I went back into his account to look at the essay so I could see what feedback was left on it. To my surprise, there was no feedback. I showed the essay to both my parents, who are teachers at a high school. They both agreed it was very well written and definitely deserved better than a 75. Because there was no feedback, I asked my boyfriend to send a nice email to his teacher and ask why he got the grade he did and what he could do to improve it for the next time. He refused and told me he didn't care about the grade he got on it. He told me not to email his teacher too. Now, I know this was definitely not the best decision I could have made, but I emailed his teacher anyways. It was very nice and short and read something like, "Hi, I was just wondering why you gave me a 75 on my essay. I didn't find any feedback when I went to check, so I was just curious what I can improve on for next time." Is this from the boyfriend's email, or did homegirl just self-report here? If your boyfriend's happy with it, just let it be. You are playing with fire here. You guys just did something that could hurt his chances of getting into the colleges he wants to get in and is actively applying for. Why are we poking the fire here? I really did think it was harmless. When I told my boyfriend I did it, he got extremely angry and upset at me and told me I lost his trust and proceeded to break up with me over text. We had been together for almost a year, so this was a shock. He told me I invaded his privacy and majorly overstepped, and that he could never trust me again. While I completely understand his point of view, I was genuinely doing it because I care about him and I don't want him to end the semester with a bad grade in the class. I know his feelings are valid, but I do feel like this is a bit of an overreaction. I feel like emailing a teacher about a bad grade shows them that you care about their class and is ultimately harmless. Okay, I actually don't necessarily disagree with that. I think it's always good to follow up with the teacher because it shows that you're willing to put in effort into their class. But I also think if your boyfriend said leave it be, leave it fucking be. Although I will say, chat, not super sure how I feel about breaking up over it. Did she technically betray his trust? Yes, but also she sounds a little neurotic. That might not be the word for it, chat. She sounds like she needs that approval. She needs the approval of every teacher. She needs approval that the work that she does in school is good. And like, if you know that, like, yes, I think you should be mad at her, but also be like, okay, this is just my girlfriend. I think neurotic's the right word, right, chat? Hold on, wait, let me finish this. I have apologized profusely and told him I understand I crossed a boundary that I didn't know was important to him, and he refuses to talk to me. I think I know the answer, but am I the a-hole? Okay, hold on. So you're telling me their only two definitions are having caused by or relating to neurosis, as if neurotic doesn't come from the word neurosis. Oh, hey, maybe the noun definition will help me. A neurotic person. Hello? I'm just never gonna know the definition of neurotic, chat. It's never gonna be in my vocabulary, all right? Google gave me the biggest middle finger. I don't think this one makes her the devil, but if it's not the first time, yeah. That's how I feel. Like, were mistakes made? Yes. I wouldn't look at this post and be like, you're the devil. I would just be like, hey man, maybe you should like nip that perfectionist tendency in the butt, because a lot of people tend to make themselves a little miserable with that type of mindset. You can't get everything perfect. The sooner you come to terms with that, the better, in my opinion. My wife wants a divorce with newborn. I am praying to God that that doesn't mean she wants a divorce with a newborn baby, because then I got questions. Guessing that's not what it means. Me, 34 male, and my wife, 32 female, have known each other for 11 years and have been married for 5 years now. We recently had a baby who is 5 months old now. Last week, my wife told me she wants a divorce and she made up her mind and does not want to consider counseling. I told her that I don't want to separate from her or our baby. but obviously any word during our conversation didn't change her opinion. We went back home afterwards. She has ups and downs with her interactions with me, but she does not seem to be overall happy to be around me. I don't know what she thinks right now. Either she is stalling or there is any hope. This year, we went through a lot of stuff, bought a new home that needed a lot of work. She wanted to have a baby after we bought the home, which I agreed. She has helped me around with making the home more livable while being 5 to 7 months pregnant at the time, but what she did was mostly being around me. I didn't let her even carry anything unless I certainly needed help for 5 minutes. She keeps bringing up to me that she did a lot of work while being pregnant and all my attention should have been on her. Around when the delivery was scheduled, both of our parents came to stay with us to help. It was the first grandchild for both sides. My relationship with her parents has never really been good. Despite we see them 1 to 2 times a year, there has been no time that I didn't have a fight with her father, especially. After their last visit during my wife's delivery, he stopped talking to me. I also wanted my parents to enjoy seeing their first grandchild. They came with my high needs autistic brother. During that time, I tried to make my brother comfortable because if he would get upset, then I thought it would make everyone at home uncomfortable. My wife thinks that I prioritized my brother and neglected her during her first weeks after delivery. She thinks because of never-ending fights with her family and me prioritizing my brother, according to her, that people don't change and her life will always be miserable for her. Even years before we got married, she knew about my brother and I made it clear to her that if my parents die, I want him near me always, not in a nursing home. We haven't been intimate for 6 months now and talk mostly surface stuff for the last month, which includes at least 2 weeks of silent treatment she gave me. Nobody cares about what I need and appreciates all the effort I tried to put into creating better environments for my daughter before she is born. Still, I love my daughter very much and can't think of separating from her. Let me read these notes because, well, number one, we've already gotten in trouble for that this stream. But number two, I feel like I need clarifications here. Like, this last line makes me think that he thinks, oh, a divorce means I would never see my daughter again, which is not the right answer at all. Regarding her father, it is mainly lack of respect for my boundaries. Both of our parents live abroad from the same country. Her father knows very good English and has better income. They visited us last Christmas, 3 weeks prior to our move-in date. Instead of flying to our city, he asked that I pick them up from an international airport 4 hours away, 9 hours round trip. He knows English very well and actually works in aviation industry. In my perspective, the only reason he asks this is to save money. Yet they bought a brand new electric car with $50,000 just before visiting us at that time. During their stay, he wanted me to drive around and take them to dinners. I told him if he wants to visit places, he can rent a car and go. That was one of the fights. It was my only vacation before move-in and I wanted to relax and prepare. They did not even offer to help with the move-in until I told them how much it displeased me. Her mother has no job. She could have stayed with us to help her pregnant daughter, but he rejected that our move-in date is not clear. I think the main reason is that he wanted to buy a house before us, but the bank didn't give him credit and then he just got jealous. I think his dream is to live in the US. He had opportunities, but never realized the opportunities due to life and other reasons, so he is just petty. Anyway, I can write longer and longer, but this is the main of the gist of it. I can tolerate him, but we will probably be never on best terms. Chat, am I fucking stupid, or does this one... Don't get me wrong, OP sucks, and arguably is the devil. I think there was a lot there that I was like, you could have stepped up to the fucking plate. I also don't think the wife is that great either. The wife isn't that great. The parents sound like a shit show. I'm not a huge fan of the way that OP was telling that story. I feel like we didn't get enough details on like anything. We got very baseline details about each person, but nothing was really elaborated on. It just kind of told a story at base level. That being said, I'm more inclined to give the verdict that everyone sucks here. I think OP could have prioritized his wife more. There was probably a lot more communication on his end that he needed to do. It sounds like he also just let this snowball and snowball and snowball until it got to the point where there was no stopping the snowball. But it also does sound like why is the wife having a kid? That was probably the craziest thing for me is he's like, oh, our marriage has been kind of rocky for like the last 2 years, but you guys are bringing a baby into this equation? For what? And the parents too? The parents, like, don't get me wrong. I think OP probably has a vendetta against the parents, but it also sounds like the parents could do more to help out and make life easier for them as they are beginning to move in and bring a child into this world. Just not a great group of people. Like, I feel bad for this kid. I feel bad that this kid has such a weirdly hostile family that it's going to be born into. That poor kid, man. That's the real victim. Am I the Devil really has been more of an everyone sucks kind of deal lately. I agreed, Momo. This one one was posted in r/true unpopular opinion. It's completely fair that men are cool if they sleep with a lot of women, but women are not cool if they sleep with a lot of men. What did the incels have cooked up for us today? I've given this some thought, and I honestly think this is completely fair. Now, hear me out. Basically, the biggest difference between a man who sleeps with a lot of women and a woman who sleeps with a lot of men is when a man sleeps with a lot of women, he is doing something that most men can't do. However, when a woman sleeps with a lot of men, she is doing something that most women can do, but choose not to. That's a very big difference. No, man, I think you can't do that because you're a little bitch. Let me tell you, with the good men I've surrounded myself with, we have no problem getting laid, all right? Not to suck our own dicks here, but we do fine. I think if you're not getting laid, there's inherently something wrong with you. I'd put money on it being directly correlated to you thinking that this is an okay post to write. Being a player is actually quite difficult, and the majority of men could not do it. As humans, we tend to respect people who are able to do difficult things that other people are unable to do. For a woman, sex, at least in comparison to a man, is not difficult to get. So there is nothing to admire about a woman who sleeps with a lot of men. She is not doing something that is difficult. She is not doing something that other women cannot do. Chat, bro does not fuck. Bro has never made a woman come before, and that is very evident. It's the same reason people will generally be more impressed with a doctor or lawyer than someone who works at a convenience store. A doctor or lawyer has gone through several years of grueling, difficult, high-level schooling. That is something that the majority of people cannot do, and so we respect them. In large part because of how difficult it is to become one of them. Now, I don't think that women should be slut-shamed and defamed for sleeping with a lot of men, but it isn't something that necessarily warrants praise either. Hey man, newsflash, that is kind of slut-shaming them and defaming them. I don't know what to tell you, bro. You making this post is your attempt to slut-shame them. Oh, brother, this guy stinks. Oh my God, and then they edited it to add another argument. I think another way you can look at it is that because women are more selective/picky, being chosen by many women is a green flag as a result. It's sort of like if you got accepted by 6 out of 10 Ivy Leagues versus 9 out of 10 community colleges. Which one is more impressive? It's the Ivy Leagues, of course. Men would be community colleges here. All right, well, we don't have all the time in the world to unpack that monstrosity. TLDR, though, this guy definitely doesn't fuck. Bro's really committing to the bit to be a virgin for life, huh? How can someone not realize that if you think like this, it's probably the reason you ain't getting puss? Because they fall down the Andrew Tater Tot hill and they think, oh, all women are the same. No, bro, you're just a little pussy. Have you ever tried not treating women like they're an unattainable object? Like, my ex is causing me to self-sabotage my current relationship. What can I do to stop self-sabotaging? We have a 28 male OP, figures, 27 female ex, and a 30 female girlfriend. Before we finish up this last story, if you've gotten this far into the video, that probably means that you're enjoying it. And if that's the case, all I ask is that you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future reading Reddit videos. I upload 2 a week. They're usually 40+ minutes and they go up every Monday and Thursday. On top of that, I have over 110 reading Reddit videos on my channel. So if you're looking for your daily dose of drama, head on over to my channel for hours and hours of reading Reddit stories just like this one. I feel truly horrible. I've been cheating on my new girlfriend for the entirety of our relationship. This is puzzling to me because I never cheated before and she's the most wonderful woman I ever met. On Thursday, I got caught. This is the second time I got caught and I feel like absolute shit. As you should. I started to realize that I'm like this because of my ex. Before this relationship, I never cheated on anyone. My last relationship, I got cheated on and it changed me. With my ex, everything was so one-sided. I spoiled her all the time. Even on my birthday, I paid for everything, cooked, cleaned, etc. And she still cheated. The relationship is the complete opposite. She spoils me, cooks, but I still do most of the cleaning, to be honest, and she pays for things. I think my ex broke me. I'm a really nice guy and I want the old me back. Hey man, have you ever thought about doing therapy before you get in your next relationship? That might do wonders for you. I mean, listen, do I think his ex did him damage? Yeah. I think being like, oh, my ex caused me to cheat. Nah, bro, that's all you. Your ex isn't getting you hard, undressing you, undressing the other girl, also getting the girl in the position to sleep with you in the first place, and then taking your dick and putting it inside the other girl. Like, it's not your ex doing that, bro. It's you. You can blame your ex all you want. Did she maybe mentally fuck you up? Sure. But are you the one actually making the decisions and the choices? Oh, no, woof, woof. I slipped and fell into another woman's puss. It's not my fault. I slipped and fell into another woman's puss because of my ex. It's not my fault.